Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Career Success Conversations. This is episode three. And I'm really excited to have Madhura today with us. So, hello, Madhura. Welcome to Career Success
Hi.
Conversations. Hello, how are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Sure, it's a pleasure. So, Madhura,
Yes.
let us begin with your introduction. Of course, I know you, but for our audience,
Hmm.
please please tell us about yourself.
Yes. So I'm now a fitness coach. That would include coach people about mainly fitness. That means physical exercise. And I'm a nutritionist. So I go back and forth when I'm dealing with my my clients or someone I might be talking to. So that's what I'm doing right now. And slowly and steadily, I'll be expanding my, so to speak, business because I want to reach out to people of different age groups and categories. So that's what I want to do. So I'm still, seeing how I can do that. But yeah, so, and previously I was working in a corporate setting, but I changed I made the transition from that to this because I have been wanting to get into this for a long time and it finally happened a couple of years back. Yes. So,
Yeah, wonderful, Madhura, and all of you who are watching this show, right? Madhura is my fitness coach, also, and she's incredible.
yes.
Okay, I have been working with her for last 1 year now. Okay, and there is tremendous improvement in my
Yes.
fitness. Yeah, so and she's great. She's absolutely
Yes.
great, and I have recommended her to many of
Thank
my
you.
friends and clients, and they have had fantastic feedback for her. Okay, so Madhura is,
That's great. Thank you.
yes, you are incredible in the work that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Madhura, you mentioned that you transitioned into becoming a fitness coach 2 years back.
yes.
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 And so let us go back a little bit. Where and when did you start your career? And how did you start your career?
So you mean the fitness career? So
No, your career, as in when you
the
graduated and yeah, early days of your
yeah.
career, corporate career. Let's talk
Yes.
about your corporate career first.
yes. So I am a psychologist by qualification. Like my degree, which I have, is that of an industrial psychologist. Psychology was something that I was really interested in, but I loved working in the corporate for the first couple of years. So I was working for Cognizant. Then I changed to some, different. It was a kind of a different industry. It wasn't IT. But what I realized was I didn't enjoy it. So usually what happens is when you are fresh out of college,
Hmm.
you are it's not a glamorous world, but it's a different world. So you want to enjoy that. So you kind of take in everything, the novelty. But I realized I'm not someone, I am ambitious, but I can't really work 45 hours or 50 hours in a week. I have a lot of things that I want to get done in a week, and I just did not have time for it. Plus, um, it's not just about it wasn't such a challenging job, I would say, because I always have been I'm a sports person, like an athlete, and
Okay.
I think since a long time I've been thinking about, oh, maybe I can start this, like a side hustle. I can start something at the side, or maybe I can do something on Saturdays and Sundays. But those Saturdays and Sundays were spent in sleeping because I was so tired after
Okay.
working so many hours during the week.
I
I
get
just
that.
and the motivation to do something different
Hmm.
was not there at all, because I didn't know where to start. So,
Okay.
but in I think 2018, I took that step. End of
Hmm.
2018, I decided that I want to, because by that time I had enough of the corporate setting, so to speak.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't want to digress, but the politics of it just got to me. Like
Okay.
the daily politics was like just too much for me. So I decided to just, start working for myself. And I don't want to be my own boss or anything of that sort. I just
Yeah.
want to be content in, what I'm doing, like what I like doing.
Wow. Wow. So I can
Yeah.
see, your career journey has been very, very interesting, right? Like you are a psychologist by qualification, like you studied psychology,
Yes.
then you
Yes.
started your career into IT with Cognizant, worked there for a few years, and then you said you worked in some other industry as well. And
Yes.
and things that you mentioned, Madhura, I could relate to that also, that when you are working on something that is not your genuine liking, or that is not your passion,
Hmm.
then work can become draining. And as you mentioned that
Yes.
uh, just the long hours of that, like 45 hours of that, can be draining. And even though you mentioned that you had this passion for fitness, or you have been into sports, right from your childhood, you, even though you wanted to do that, you did not have energy or time to do it. But tell me something, Madhura, that what was that point where you said, no, I have to do it now. I
Yeah.
have to really look at,
Uh,
seriously looking at following my heart. Really want to, really I want to do it now. What was that point?
yes. So I think so. I had gone for a trek, Stoke Kangri trek. It was in
Okay.
2018, August or September. So
Okay.
what happened was, before going for that trek, I had applied for a leave. It was
Hmm.
of the first leave that I was taking for a very long time, and
Okay.
I wanted it to get approved. It was more like I just wanted to get out of that, uh, rigmarole for about 7 days or 15 days, and that leave wasn't approved. Like I don't know,
Okay.
it wasn't. It was like a trigger for me that okay, I have to apply for leave. When I'm going for a trek, which I mean, I'm working for a year now, so I
Yeah.
deserve that leave maybe, and I'm
Hmm.
taking care of
Hmm.
everything before I go. So, and it was applied 3 months in advance.
Hmm.
So, and what happened was that leave wasn't approved, and there was a lot of the Saturday that I was supposed to leave, Saturday, Sunday, there was a lot of discussion over it, and
Okay.
that Friday was like, yeah, and until 6 o'clock Friday, it was not approved. So I
Okay.
called up like I was going back and forth on it, and trying to find out why isn't it approved, because there was
Yeah.
nothing that was upcoming for the next 10-15 days,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it was a very tired. It was a arduous trek. Like it wasn't easy. So I
Yeah.
needed to be in that mental space for that, because it's a qualifier for Everest, and
Yes.
that stress added to my like the first few days of my trek, like the couple of
Okay.
days when I landed in Leh Ladakh.
Okay.
It added to my stress, which actually added. It wasn't part maybe of AMS, but I was in that mind frame that, oh, I have to go back to work, and
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that so much that I wasn't looking forward to going back home
Yeah.
after 15 days. Yeah.
Understood. Hmm.
So I came back. I took that decision during that time because my health had also suffered during that time.
Okay.
Before that, I was working out, yes, but it wasn't that connection that you have when you are working out is different when you are in a happy space and when you are doing it just for the sake of doing it.
Right.
So those 45 minutes also were like very difficult for me to find, and that's why I can relate to
Hmm.
a lot of my clients right now when they say, oh, no, I can't, or I'm just not in that mind space. I understand that. I totally get that, because I
Yeah.
was feeling that way for a couple of months before that. So
Hmm.
I came back from the trek and I decided to resign. But that took another 2-3 months for it to actually fall into place. And, there was a lot of discussion again because it went back and forth. But yeah, I
Yeah.
was finally, I think, November. Yeah, that's when I was done. So
Hmm.
this was over by that time. 2 or 3 months, they had asked me to wait. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was done by then. And in after that, I made the transition. I was already looking at certifications and courses
Yeah.
during that time, but I decided to take that leap then in those last 3 or 4 months of 2018. Yes.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. So that was the
So
trigger.
Right. I could see that, Madhura, that there was a trigger. You wanted to go for a trek, but it was not approved easily, and it
Yeah.
created stress for you. And of course, the feeling of I have worked hard for a year, and the leave that I deserve, right? Why there is so much struggle I need to go through to get it approved, right? And
Yes.
I can completely understand that. And you also mentioned that when you were on the trek, that hangover from work remained for few days, and when the
Yes.
when the trek was over, you were not looking back, looking forward to coming back to office, right? So
Yes.
I could understand that. I could understand that because what had happened. And I think, like you mentioned, that became the trigger, and then you like made up your mind
Yes.
to call it quits and follow your
Yeah.
heart. But how easy or difficult that decision was for you, especially what was the reaction from people around you, your friends, family, when you told them that I'm going to do this?
Oh, so the reaction was I wasn't expecting that reaction. They my parents were completely on board. They were
Okay.
like, okay, great. Because in the end, it's about you being happy, you wanting to be okay with your, like you should have control over your day. That was the feeling. And they were completely on board. My friends, and everyone around me, like my peers, especially like they'd seen me going through that. They were like, why didn't you do it already? I thought you would be taking this decision a long time ago. You dragged it
Okay.
on for so long. Why did you do that? And until then, I always used to discuss, oh, I want to maybe, start something of my own, something of my own in the sense that in this zone,
Yeah.
maybe. So they were always there. And they were like, okay, maybe you should explore something like that. But
Yeah.
until unless I didn't reach that decision that I want to enter the fitness industry as a health coach or as from a health psychology point of view,
Yeah.
they even I mean, yes, the friends will always tell you about it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, yeah, you can do whatever you want,
Yeah.
but you have to kind of come to the realization that what is it that I like doing after that, because
Yeah.
for me, not working was never an option. Like I wanted always to do something,
Right.
probably in a different field, but yes, something, because I'm I'm kind of an ambitious person, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm not a very ambitious person, but I'm slowly getting there because now I found my field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So that's
So
the reason.
right. So I could see that when you took that decision, your parents were very supportive of you. Your
Yeah,
friends were also supportive of you. In fact, some of them said, "Hey, why did you not do it long time back?" So
yeah.
that was kind of reflective of the confidence they had in you. That you know,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
right. So
Um, I think what happened is that they have always seen me working out irrespective of my, and workouts are not that, but uh, a huge part of being a health coach probably is motivating your clients or your
yes,
people around you, or getting them moving in certain some way. And
yeah,
until unless you don't do it, it's not going to happen. I mean, you are probably an example for 10 people in your life, probably. So you have to kind of live up to that. And that was never the end goal for me. It was more like it makes me happy, so let me do it. So cycling, trekking, gymming, probably
yeah,
going for a run, even if I have 30 minutes.
yeah,
So my friends have seen that. Always they have seen that. Sushant has seen that. My husband has also seen that if I come home at 8 o'clock.
yeah,
So they were like, yeah, this makes sense. This
yeah,
absolutely makes sense for you to
yeah,
get into. And I have always spoken. I've been very passionate about this. Like
yeah,
for me, talking about it doesn't tire me out. I can go on and on about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your passion
So
shows, right? I mean, you can talk
yeah.
about it, you can do it, irrespective of the circumstances. Even if you have 30 minutes, you'll go for a walk or a run or a ride. That shows your
Right.
passion towards it. And like you said, you can talk about it endlessly because you're so passionate about fitness and about health. And
Yes.
that clearly shows in the work that you do as well, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, that I'm seeing for the last 1 year. So now, tell us something about your initial days when you quit your corporate job and you started on your own. So
Right.
how was the transition like, and how were those initial days like? Anything that you would like to share with us?
Yes. Oh, so I was focused on my studies in 2019 from the start. So I am certified on American Council on Exercise.
Yeah,
So that it's a very difficult exam to crack.
yeah,
Extremely difficult. One of the most difficult exams there is probably right now. Like the
yes,
certification that took about uh, I I I went back to studying after 6 or 7 years. So
yeah,
that wasn't easy for me initially.
right,
Once I picked up the pace and I gave my exam, got the results, like immediately you get to know the results,
yeah,
passed. So now I knew that, oh, my career is starting
yeah,
on that day itself.
right.
But in a month's time, I reached a dead end. Like I didn't
Hmm,
know, and I am not someone, I like, for me, I didn't know how to approach people or
hmm, hmm.
how do you pitch something or, how do you like just network. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
okay.
And I wasn't even open to that idea because I'd
Hmm,
never
hmm,
done it
hmm, hmm.
ever. Because working in a corporate setting, you come across people who are already working for the same firm or the same organization. You don't have to go and necessarily get clients. At least
Yes,
that was not part of my KRA. I worked in the L&D and HR department. So
yes.
yeah, so it was very, and for me, it's probably breaking glass for me,
Hmm,
the
hmm,
initial time, I
hmm.
would say, not like a very big achievement, I would say,
Yeah,
but the first, but still I wasn't able to gauge what was that motivation did not come for some
hmm,
reason, like because it involved approaching people, and I was a
hmm.
little wary of doing that.
Okay.
So the start, I did work with a few people,
Yeah.
but nothing that really challenged me at that
Hmm,
point.
hmm, hmm.
So that got me down a little bit. So
Yeah.
those probably 4 or 5 months were very difficult for me because
Right.
now this was a career that I had chosen and I didn't
Yeah.
know what to do with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I have a certification, but I'm sitting at home,
Yeah.
so I didn't understand what to do. Yeah, so
Absolutely. I
that
can
time was a
relate
little
to,
dark.
right. And I can relate to that, Madhura, because when I quit my corporate job and got
Right.
started into coaching, uh,
Hmm.
and absolutely, similar journey. Like I had completed my certification in coaching, and then I started coaching my
Right.
family and friends. I'm talking about 2015, 6 years back.
Okay.
But the journey was very similar, that yeah, now I have got a international certification. I have started coaching, but how do I go forward from here? How do I make it a business, right? So I can relate to the journey that you did go through that time. And I have seen a lot of people who transition from corporate to start something on their own.
Hmm.
Invariably they go through that journey. So
Yes.
what you're sharing, is not unusual at all. It is, I think everybody goes through that journey. So that brings me to this, that what is the point in time that you felt, uh, like, I think we met in 2019 sometime, if I remember correctly. Uh,
Yes.
so
I think yes.
yeah. So what was the time, what was the time that you felt the need for a coach, or you started looking at like a possibility of getting coached or getting professional support around your situation? So if you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Yes. So I must mention this that Hemant sir has actually helped Sushant, my husband, with his. He also had experienced a few, like a couple of roadblocks in 2018-19. So Hemant sir helped him, and Sushant insisted that I contact you and talk to you about it. Like just see how it goes. If you like it, don't like it, just take it up. But I think we had the discovery call, and I knew that, yeah, yes, this is going to work out. Let me go ahead with the rest of the sessions. So I went ahead with them, and yes, they really helped me, because a couple of things that I did not realize at that time was, you encouraged me, was why don't you start something online? I mean, it's anyway, I think by that time the COVID situation had, I mean, it had come to India, and
Yeah.
people were working remotely, and everything was going virtual at that time. So you decided, I mean, you told me that why don't you see, something that it might work online. You never know. Why don't you just give it a try? And I'm like, yeah, why didn't I just try it? I mean,
Yeah.
what do I have to lose? So you gave me a couple of exercises, and I think the second or the third session, and one of it, which was conquering my fear of talking to people, like
Yeah.
approaching people rather.
Yeah.
Just putting myself out there that, oh, I have started this, and I would love to. Uh, I would love to work with you, or whatever. So
Yeah.
uh, maybe this first consultation, second one about nutrition or anything of that sort. And yeah, so I think the second or the third session was one of these exercises. You asked me to write down the names
I remember.
and slowly, yes, tick them off if you have called them or messaged them or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there are 40 names that came in my list. Like, I did
Yeah.
not even realize I had so many people I could talk to until that time.
Yes.
And I spoke to around all of them, and
Yeah.
slowly they did. Uh, I mean, they slowly started working with me. That
Yeah.
I still have that list. Yes, so that
Yeah.
was absolutely great. That was a good encouragement.
Yeah.
And yeah, so virtually it became a completely different zone for me because I had never tried it before.
Yeah.
But it got started last year, 17th of April. Was my first session, I remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's been good since then.
Wonderful. And you talked about
Yeah.
hesitation, right? Hesitation talking to people about your own
Yes.
services, right? Like, I'm into career coaching, executive coaching. So talking to people about what work I do. Similarly for you, like you're a fitness coach, health coach, you're also a nutritionist. So talking about that is something that we are not used to in our corporate jobs.
Hmm.
And then once we transition
Yes.
from a corporate job into doing something on our own, that is one area we kind of hesitate or struggle a little bit, because now we are our own sales team. Right. Right. So
Yes.
right, so
You
we
said
we
it.
are actually doing a sales job, right? Of course I prefer to call it as a service oriented conversation, but it is a
Right.
sales conversation, right? And that is something that we hesitate with. And I
It
think
is.
that, and as you rightly mentioned,
Yes.
at that point in time you need someone to nudge you, you need someone to encourage you that you can do it.
Hmm.
Because what saw in you is that you had the passion, you had the qualification, you were ready, but the only thing that was stopping you was reaching out to people and talking to people about it.
Yes.
And Of course you actually did that. You made a list of 40 people, and you
Yes.
started talking to people. So that was something that created a breakthrough for you, it seems. So any other thing
Yes.
that comes to your mind through your coaching journey that you learned or that was beneficial to you in some way?
Yes. I was also I started, and one of the biggest things is that you always are hesitant about talking about money or your commercials, right? Like the probably whatever, like per session cost or whatever it is, how
Yes.
you might want to call it. And I always, like, the initial time I was not so rigid about payments, in the sense I was like, okay, it's coming, whenever, it's fine. Or
Yeah.
but then I spoke to you, and you were like, it has to be done when you say, or whatever you agree to. Like, you and the client has to agree to a timeline and ensure that they stick to it, which is very
Yeah.
important. Because at that point I had 3 people or 4 people, and I wasn't even like ashamed. I didn't care. I was like, okay, okay, it's coming, or
Yeah.
it might get delayed, they might have issues or something. But what I realized, I think, in the last call that we had, was that now I'm a business person. I cannot the emotions, or I mean, I have to be empathetic and sympathetic to people. But at the same time, if you are committing to something, you have to deliver it, be it money or whatever it is. And I knew by that time what my caliber was. So in a couple of months, I realized that I when I say 9 o'clock, it's a 9 o'clock session. I start the session at 9 o'clock. Or if I'm getting late, I ensure that I drop a message 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I plan everything around that, and I ensure that I'm available 6 days a week or 5 days a week, whenever it is. So
Yes.
if I am that professional, then it makes sense for the other person to also respect me and say
Absolutely.
that it's getting delayed or whatever it is. Like I'm not available from this day or to this day.
Yeah.
I understand that this is a profession for me. This is the service that I'm providing.
Yeah.
But if I also avail a lot of services, and
Yeah.
if it, I mean, I do my payments or whatever it, I follow a
Yeah.
schedule for everything.
Yes.
So it makes sense for me to also, it makes sense for the other person to also respect me or reciprocate in that way.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that, yes. So sort of started being a little forward about it, a little forthright about it. That you let me know whenever you can,
Yeah.
because just like you get salaries, right? For
Yeah.
other, if you're working like an employee, they get salaries. I'm not going. I don't have that, so I have to
Yeah.
be very vigilant about what is coming. So I
Yes.
started keeping a schedule of everything and keeping track of everything by that time. I think it started in June. Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, that, and also one thing that you also helped me was with time management. I was struggling time management in the sense my schedule had suddenly gone for a toss, slightly for a toss. Around it, like 4 hours of my day was set, but around it, I was struggling a little bit keeping pace with my other things, like whatever it is during the day. So, and by that time, the lockdown situation had, it was still going on. So
Yeah.
you didn't have house help or anything of that. So like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
chores that were coming on to you.
Yes. Yes.
So you also helped me with time management.
Yeah.
So that was also one of the things.
Yes. I remember that conversation, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
you, so I can see that, Madhura, that, first when we transition out of a corporate job and start something on our own, so the first hesitation is talking to people about what we do. The second
yes,
hesitation is about, asking for the right amount of money that we deserve for the service that we offer, right? Uh,
absolutely.
right, and that is something very, very important, which of course I learned through my own journey. I was also initially
Correct.
hesitant about asking for
Yes,
money or talking about specific time by when they should pay, or even the pricing for that matter. So that is something that we learn through the process, and that is something I shared with you. And third thing, which is about time, and which you rightly mentioned, that also the self worth, because you are a professional and I know that, like, you're always on time. You always
thank
communicate
you.
with me in case you are going to be late. So you always do that, and absolutely, you are a professional. So and same thing we should expect from our clients also. And so that is something that you did. And third thing which you mentioned was about time management, because in the services business that we are in, time is money for us. So we have to
Yes,
also make
absolutely.
sure that we are keeping time and managing our schedule properly. So that is amazing. So Madhura, that is fantastic. And one thing which I must mention about Sushant as well, right? So Sushant also, like you mentioned, he's your husband, and he's someone who is passionate about football. And I remember
Yes,
working with him through the coaching program, and he picking up football as his passion.
yes,
So that is something. So I'm very happy for both of you, that both of you are passionate about sports. He's passionate about football. You are passionate about fitness overall and sports. So this is amazing. And both of you have quit corporate jobs, and you are doing something amazing on your own.
yes.
So tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing currently, and what kind of results your clients are getting right now.
Yes. Right now I'm conducting fitness sessions virtually. It's completely online, either on Skype or WhatsApp, whichever is the preference. Right now I have around 8 clients right now. So I'm working with, including Hemant sir. So I'm coaching them in, some people have a requirement of weight loss, which I mean, that is the end goal, but I also focus on a lot of things for weight loss. So that also takes some time for the session. Like during the session, there is a lot of talk about motivational talk that I have to do to keep them, on that journey so that they don't
Yeah.
go off. So that's one thing. Some people just want to get fit. It's like you want to increase your probably your stamina, your endurance.
Yes.
Now I know that you had started with 6 Surya Namaskars. Now you are at 24 and plus the workout. It's not just
Yes.
the 24. It's
Yes.
more than that. Yes, it's a
Yes.
1 hour session where Sundays you don't feel like you're completely tired, but you still go through with it. So I know
Yeah.
that so it's different focus, and what also works in what worked for me is when I started thinking about it, when I started reflecting, is that uh, I appeal to the women more than the men, probably.
Hmm.
Like because women are not that open about talking about their weight struggles or any other
Hmm.
struggles that they might experience with a man, probably. And this I might be wrong, but this is what I've seen. This is what the trend is in the last 1 year, which I've
Okay.
seen.
Hmm.
And there are not a lot of women trainers in this industry. That's one thing,
Okay.
and not a lot of women trainers who are not standing there with a stick and saying that no, you have to work out today.
Okay.
So you have to be a little understanding. That goes a long way with anyone. Just to understand where your client is at, understanding if
Yes.
he or she has a physical, he's not feeling up to it that way. That's
Yeah.
fine. You have to understand that and then start your sessions. Because if I've decided no, Hemant sir, he's going to do 50 squats today, and he's not doing 50 squats, you know that's that's a bad thing. That's a bad reflection on me. No, it's not. Everyone goes through their own journeys. It's going to take some time, and it's
Yes.
weight loss or fitness doesn't happen even in 2 months. It takes a lot of mental fortitude for the client.
Yes.
So first, my focus was always with everyone was that you should start loving exercise or workouts,
Yeah.
and then slowly you start with progressive workouts in a way that your clients will start relating to it. Okay, I have to do 20 squats. Oh, that's fine. I can do 20 squats. That's
Yeah.
okay. Or any other exercise. So you have to slowly take it up a notch because you can't throw them in the deep end and say, no, no, you have to do 56 Surya Namaskars and 50 squats in a day. That won't work. And
Yeah.
physically, it's not possible.
Absolutely. I completely
Yeah.
agree with you. And I see that I have seen that with you, Madhura, that you make sure that you start slowly. You look at where the client is, where they want to go, and you incrementally stretch them, and so that
Yes.
they work on their stamina and fitness, because that is how you have worked with me. It's been a year now for me, and I have seen that incrementally my stamina and strength have increased. And as you mentioned, from 6 Surya Namaskars to 24 Surya Namaskars now, and
Yes.
and
It's
you
an
are also,
achievement.
it's an achievement. And thanks to you, I think I'll be happy to share with all of you who are watching this, watching this or listening to this conversation, that I can tell you that at the age of 47 today, I think in terms of my fitness, I think I'm at the best fitness level that I ever was in my life. And this
Oh,
is
that's
thank
great.
and that is thanks to Madhura. And I will also
Uh,
take credit for being consistent with my workouts.
yes, yes. I was just about to say that. Thrice a week, it's a lot of effort.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that is the great work that you are doing, Madhura. I think, especially in current times, with the current lifestyle, and also especially during lockdown situation that we are in for more than a year now, fitness has become very, very important, even more important than it was ever before. We can't go out, we can't go to the gym. So, what you are doing, what services you are providing to the clients have become even more important now. So that is fantastic. Now, before we wrap up our conversation for today, Madhura, I just want to ask you this question. Now, when you look back at,
Hmm.
when you quit your corporate job and started something on your own, when you look back, how do you feel today? Like what is the feeling that comes up in your mind today about the work that you are doing?
Oh, I feel great. Trust me. Because it might sound very cliched, but I have always, even when I was working 45 hours, 50 hours a day, I mean, a week, I have always
Yeah.
loved been a professional. I can say that through, completely. So now I put all my time and energy and all that, effort in actually building my own brand on my own business,
Yeah.
because this is something that I actually love doing. Instead of commuting for 2 hours, working for 9 hours every day, now I know that, how I can plan my days. I have control over my time, and I have control over maybe who I want to work with. So that's not something that, and also what I've realized is I want to show up for, even if I'm not feeling well, because I have bad days. So I might not be physically there someday, but I will still uh, take those sessions. Like if I have 4 sessions that day, I will show up for those sessions, because
I have seen that.
in the end, yeah, thank
I
you.
have seen that.
So I will do that, irrespective of what I'm going through personally or physically or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think just that's like a lot of time and energy that I put, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, now is being utilized in my business, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I
So
can. Yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays are don't feel like weekends. It sounds very cliche, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I like it, so it's not a big deal
Right.
anymore.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
work, but it's no longer the boring work, right? It's
yeah,
something
it's
that
not
you're
longer the
passionate
work.
about. It is something you're passionate
Yes.
about, and that is where the energy comes up. And I can say that based on my own experience. And you were talking about that just now, that irrespective of the circumstances, you will show up, and
Yes.
you will do your best every single day, because now one is that you're doing something what you love to do, uh,
Hmm.
and you're passionate about it, and now you're running your own show, you're running your own business. So
Yes.
that itself can be very, very energizing. And
Yes. Yes.
Right. So wonderful, Madhura. So
Absolutely.
before we complete our conversation today, right? So so one question, right? What is your one message to all the people who are watching this video or listening to this conversation? So what is one message that you would like to give to the audience, that has worked for you in your career and your life? What is it that you would like to share with them? One thing.
I think, I might be a little young to answer this, maybe, but I think perseverance and patience has gone a long way. At least I think since the last 1 year that I've realized that um, no matter what is happening around you, it people will start appreciating you more or start trusting you more when you give your work a little more respect, in the sense that, mm, not rescheduling or canceling, because these things make a huge difference for someone else who might, that mood is changed in an hour and a half.
Yes.
It's completely up. It might go for a different, in a different zone completely. So I think, I think that's about it. And patience. So you might be dealing with someone who might be having issues, or might ask a lot of questions about it, or something that doesn't align to your ideologies.
Yeah.
But taking them through that, through whatever it is, nutrition or whatever it is, they might have asked you very mundane questions, but it's fine to answer them, because for them it makes you are knowledge sharing. It's not
Yes.
they're seeking your advice or help or whatever it is. It might help them in some way. So I can't be like, no, why are you asking me these questions, or whatever it is, like
Yeah.
rescheduling from their end.
Yeah.
Some I know it got to me a bit 4 5 months ago, where the sessions kept, you know canceling or rescheduling, for
Okay.
that matter. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, what do I do with my day then now? Because now it's like planned. So yeah, being okay with it
Being
is,
okay with it.
yeah. So that's,
Right.
yeah. And perseverance, yeah. So I mean, just showing up, powering through.
Yeah. Perseverance and
Yeah.
patience. Wonderful. Wonderful, Madhura. So
Yes.
fantastic conversation with you. And you're doing
Yes. Thank
amazing
you.
work, and I'm personally benefiting, from your knowledge, your expertise, and your coaching around fitness area.
Thank you so much.
And we will be sharing the links to your Instagram account, website, so that people who are watching this video and people who are listening to this conversation with, can get in touch with you. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
your time today, Madhura, and
Yes. Thank
wishing you
you.
all the very best for the journey ahead. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.